We are live. How you doing?
Hello.
How you doing?
It is Sister Lives with the OG3, and we are discussing the honeymoon special.
Wow,
Right.
chicka, wow, wow.
Yeah, and from moment one, they have the like that scene of the like right away that shot of them from behind with the ocean in front of them. I'm like,
Right.
oh,
It is
They're
like,
so in love.
oh my gosh, it's like all
That's
the
what it was.
best of a 90s soap opera.
yes,
Right.
very
San
so.
Diego honeymoon.
For anyone keeping track, this is season 1, episode 9. Like technically the last episode of the season, if specials count. As
Yeah.
episodes. I don't know.
It was at a point in time, well, because it's season 1, they would do like weird things. Like by the time we get to season 6 like has a tell-all in the middle. Like it's weird. And it's like 30 episodes. It's weird. So
I totally did not remember that. So
Yeah.
that's amazing.
like Truly's whole kidney thing, like Robyn's purity speech is season 6. That's like the front half. And then the kidney debacle is like the second half. It's weird. It's broken up weird.
What a path. What a journey for that
What a
season.
Right.
Hello, everyone in the chat.
Hello.
Hey, Elizabeth, Tiffany, Valadia. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And oh, by the way, we've been touching on Seeking Sister Wife. So everyone stick with us if you're interested in that. We're going to, of course, talk about that crap show of a show.
Oh, man.
But back to this honeymoon special. We open up in their honeymoon suite, and Kody has the biggest, fattest smile on his face, maybe of the whole series. He is floating on cloud 9.
There were moments where I was uncomfortable. I'm like, I feel like I'm a voyeur. Like I feel like I'm a peeping Tom on this like intimate moment between them. And I got uncomfortable a couple times.
Oh, at the safari park? Yeah, they were. He did the gnaw the ear thing. They were pawing all over each other in the Corvette with the top down. Yeah, I was uncomfortable like 7 times this episode.
Yeah.
Right. I was actually a little more frustrated watching it, just in fairness, because I thought like it was just the stark contrast between how he treated his previous wives to how he treated her. It just, I don't know, it just rubbed me the wrong way, especially with like the little perfect answers that they were trying to give and telling the women what they should think and how they should feel about this. Like, oh, it's a difference between being a sister wife and a girlfriend. They don't love girlfriends, but they are okay with sister wives. And that's why it's okay that I took 11 days away from my family.
And then
Yes.
So now,
Christine is like, just tell me that you needed this.
sure, I needed this.
Sure, I need this. I wish my mom, when I was 16, every time I needed money, would be like, just tell me that you need it. Yeah,
Right.
Mom. I really.
That's it? That's all I have to do is say I need it? I need it.
Sale at the mall, Mom. I need it.
Right.
Also, who would
I'd be
say
more
like...
scared of the...
Oh, go ahead, James.
No, I was just saying I'd be more scared of the tell me you need it. Nah, I'm okay. Nah, we're not doing that. Because you're not tricking me.
Like, I'm cool with telling you no. Like, it seems like everyone's so scared of telling Kody no.
Yeah, that's a good that's an interesting point, because throughout this episode, I just said episode. Throughout this episode, I'm going to ask myself over and over again, like, what is wrong with the OG3? Like, specifically, Janelle keeps, like, she'll make a point of, like, this is why I'm mad at Kody. And then she'll be like, it's illogical. I don't know what's wrong with me. It makes no sense. And I'm like, yes, it does. You just pointed out why you're mad at her or at him. And it makes total sense.
Yeah. How is that illogical? Because it makes perfect sense to me. Getting illogically angry, it's like, this isn't some Karens in the wild like video, like where people are refusing to wear a mask at the doctor or something. Like, this isn't illogical or irrational. Like, this makes perfect sense to me. Someone wants to come in and sleep with my husband. that doesn't make sense to me.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the whole idea of because Janelle, God bless her, I love Janelle, but one of the things that kind of get me a little bit is where she tries to refer to everything as being logical. Oh, this isn't logical. I'm angry. That's not logical. Here's the thing: it's illogical for you to think that a person is not going to experience emotions. That's illogical because people experience emotions. So it's okay that you get angry. It's okay that you feel jealous and you're upset and you don't like how he's treating you and you recognize that something is not fair or not right or it doesn't make financial sense. Even from the financial aspect, this whole trip didn't make sense because of the way the family was struggling financially at the time. So yeah, I'm not happy about this because my kids are going without.
James, to that, Robyn says, quote, "We have the license to go on an 11-day honeymoon." She's already defending herself, by the way, at the end of season 1. Like, this is going to be, for me, this was like the start of her basically series-long storyline. Like, I have the right to spend extra / more time with Kody. I have the right to better honeymoons with Kody. I have the right to X, Y, or Z for these reasons.
Yeah, she paints it as she has all this lost time to make up for. With her, even her opening was like, it feels like it should have been this way from the beginning, but it wasn't that way. When Kody married Meri, Christine, and Janelle, they had no children yet. Sure, when he married Christine, Janelle was 4 months. Janelle gives birth to Logan. That could be a conversation, but Kody did not take honeymoon like a week off with Janelle or Christine because that would be unfair. Christine couldn't even get Kody to come tuck her kids in at night while she went off to work because of the appearance of unfairness of Christine asking for something that the other households weren't getting. She wanted more. But when Robyn needs an 11-day honeymoon, there's a rationale there. Robyn needs to make up for lost time.
Right. She really needed it, though. She really needed it, so it's okay. Well, here's something, and to your point, Amanda, here's something, because I do the Becoming Sister Wives. Here's something that I discovered in Kody's explanation in Matrimony when he talks about the proposal between him and Robyn and where he was. He said, the day that Robyn's father called and gave me permission to court Robyn, my sales career had hit an all-time low. Things were so tough that I was considering selling my car. Now,
no.
So God forbid.
Crap is so bad. You're talking about selling the crown jewel of your whole automotive collection out front. Because when things are bad and you start thinking about what can I sell to keep a roof over my head, things aren't going well. And the fact that, again, this talks to the financial aspect and the logic of you going on an 11-day trip and even hiring somebody or moving somebody down the street when you have a room that they could stay in at your house because they don't feel comfortable. This is what it's like to be a part of this family. We're broke, we're struggling. So when you join this family, yeah, you're going to have to take it easy on the TP. You can't, just run water all day. You got to turn the lights off when you leave rooms because here we conserve money. You know what I mean?
Not James pulling a Rob from 90 Day Fiance.
Right.
Counting the toilet paper.
You're counting the sheets. Can't spare a square, baby. That's it. You got to hand dry that. Sorry.
Thank you for the super, Aunt Mitty. Aunt Mitty says, we all forget Kody had the final say regardless.
And it's so interesting that they're sitting there discussing how uncomfortable they were with the whole arrangement. Every single one of them said 11 days, way too long. And nobody even said, I can't believe they got to go to San Diego when all I got was some crappy road trip. Nobody had a problem with like the substance of the honeymoon. It was the time, like the amount.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
there's so much for them to be angry about, and then and they're only angry about like small parts of it, and then at the end they're like, "But we were illogically angry," so then it makes me angry watching it.
Right. I can't believe I made him part of the thing. Again, let's go back. This is the last time I'm gonna do this. But let's go back to the text in Becoming Sister Wives under Christine when he talked about marrying Christine. I worked right up until the day we got married. I had even had a hard time getting off work to attend my own wedding. This is with Christine. Christine had to organize the whole thing. Then he goes on blah 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 blah. It says it didn't even occur to me to plan a honeymoon. Like, so he wanted somebody to tell him to plan a honeymoon with Christine so that he could take her somewhere. And her whole honeymoon plan was a last minute, oh crap, I got to do something with her. Is this what you're saying to me? And that was her honeymoon. But then when it comes time for Robyn, they not only get 11 days, they get 11 days. Did you see that hotel room with the little suite? That was a suite hotel room. That wasn't a room. That was a suite. So they were in an expensive hotel room right off the beat. Like, come on, with a rental car for 11 days.
When you have a couch in your hotel, you're living large, to me at least.
And a little living room, dinette. Come on, player.
Thank you, Deborah Aviles. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. 1 Reality Squad membership gifted. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Sarah. What was that?
Oh, no, I just said thank you.
Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Deborah. I wrote down the OG honeymoons. Christine, road trip. Meri, road trip to Kody's hometown in Wyoming. Janelle, 3-day Wyoming road trip. And then Robyn gets surfing, romance on the beach, the honeymoon suite. Yes, zip lining, the safari park, the romantic dinners. You know, I mean, it's almost a joke.
Could you imagine Robyn doing any of that now? Zip lining,
all that cool
Robyn
stuff.
zip lining in 2024. Like,
no, I can't.
But and don't get me wrong, like in early dating, sure, you might do you might try to put on a brave front, put on your best foot forward, and do things maybe you typically wouldn't do. But it's like, this is like a completely different Robyn. Who is this person? She seems fun, easygoing. Like, this is not the Robyn we know today.
I wonder if that's not the real Robyn, because I was thinking about how, like, oh, she's already unlikable for me, at least in this episode. I think it's because I actually wrote down in my notes that when they're doing their like camp chair confessionals, the OG3 are so vulnerable and real. And it's such a stark contrast to Robyn, who's like, oh, this selfish 11-day honeymoon is actually for the OG wives so that they don't have to have Kody have a girl. It's like, that's a load of crap. But anyways, yeah, she should be likable because she is, I think, pretending to like trying really hard to be the fun, great wife.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no way on Robyn's like vision board or her bucket list did she ever have surfing. Yeah, right. I am from Southern California, and no.
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of, my highest moment for me with Robyn in this episode is when she makes fun of Kody's like surfer bro accent when they're about to go on and I was like, oh, I'm like, oh, she's making fun of his bro accent. And that's what I would want to do too, because he's totally like sinking into that. Yeah, we're going ziplining, dude.
It was really funny when they're at the surf shop and she was like, oh, and you know what the wives told me? It's true. And then she's like, oh yeah, he totally flexes in the mirror. And I was like, oh, that's what you meant?
Right.
Yeah, I wish it was juicier. But also, we all see for ourselves it's true, because he promptly is like, yeah. Or before she said that, he was like, yeah. Woo!
I have my shirt off. And I do. I appreciate the fact he went ziplining with a button-down shirt. That was cute. Like, he's wearing his Sunday best. I got to get fancy because I'm on TV.
Yeah, what's he doing there? Thank you, Sarcasm
like
for Fun.
Of
what was that?
Activities.
What was that, Sarah?
It said he's like the Nick Davis of activities. You know, Nick Davis, he would dress up to be a stay-at-home dad. Kody dresses up to go ziplining, always looking Dress for
love
the
to
job
see
you
that.
want.
Love to see Nick Davis in a purple suit, a purple shiny suit, ziplining down the safari. What a sight.
Right.
Maybe next season we'll
Yeah.
get
Good to see Sarcasm for Fun back. Thank you for the gifted memberships.
Thank
That's very
you.
awesome. Very nice of you. Okay, so we're getting into the honeymoon. We're back and forth, and you mentioned, Sarah, the infamous surf shop scene, flexing, all of that.
cringe.
Yeah,
A dude with white dreads. I mean, can you ask for anything more?
Right.
yeah,
Or a
very
white dude
2005.
with dreads. That came out wrong. I have missed.
He did have white dreads, though. It was
Yes,
both
he's a
accurate
blonde.
statements.
Yeah.
Speaking of style, they spend the episode going back and forth between it's not a camping trip, but I just see all the camping chairs, so I want to refer to it as a camping trip.
That was a lot of work for a picnic.
Yeah,
That was
too
a lot
much.
of work for a picnic.
Too much.
Why?
But when they first tell us they're going on the trip, I have to say, Maddie in the black bandana, amazing. I felt the same way, Sarah. I was like,
I love angsty Maddie. That is my favorite. This is my favorite Maddie era.
yes. Isn't it funny how teenagers hate everything? And it's funny on reality TV.
And then just to like when you dress your angst, it's like you don't even realize you're doing it. And then you look back and you're like, oh my God, was I going through something?
Right.
Yes, I'm sure every like childhood photo, because this is like, so like I think Maddie's a little bit younger than me, but I remember wearing those bandanas when I was in high school. And certainly when somebody was snapping a photo, I would not be smiling. I would be like, pose. All right. Oh, I also wrote in my notes Gwen's classic "last one in the car is a loser" line.
Yeah. Like 8-9-year-old Gwen is such a treat.
Yes. Made for reality TV there.
Yes.
Okay. So we go back to the safari park and they make a really big deal out of the polygamy, animal kingdom stuff. I gotta say, Kody says the animal kingdom is very polygamous, and I Googled this, and it's true. Like,
really?
Monogamy is the exception in the animal kingdom. That is crazy. I had no idea.
Don't grasshoppers like kill their person after they like, I mean,
Yeah.
should we really dive into the mating habits of the animal kingdom?
Have you seen that video of like a claw crab or something just like eating its young?
Yeah, like there's some like messed up shit out there.
Right.
Should we just okay everything? Like, oh, it's okay. Grasshoppers, they kill each other after they have sex.
No.
Oh,
no, we
praying
shouldn't do that.
mantis. Thank you. Sorry.
Right,
I look
praying mantis.
grasshoppers.
They do look similar. Okay, let's see. Back at the picnic, we get a good look at the parentification of Logan.
Yes.
Janelle and the others straight up admit like Logan's daddy when Kody goes on his 11-day honeymoon.
And
Right.
we love to see the evolution, the deconstruction of the OG3 now, but we gotta call this out in the beginning, like them praising Logan as being like the best parent ever. It's like, do we not realize how troubling this is?
Right. Well, I mean, they put a lot of weight on him too. Like he had a lot of weight on his shoulders for a young dude. Like, oh, now all of a sudden you're the man in the house because your dad got a new girlfriend, so he's not going to be around, obviously. So now you have to do stuff, and it's not even so much like the man in the house because he's working a grill. Like anybody could have worked a grill. That's not a man job. That's just a matter of tending to the fires.
And Logan's like shocked because here are 3 grown adults could not bring anything to start a fire. So he like picks up a bunch of leaves and it's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Right.
Sorry about that. Thank you so much, Sarcasm for Fun.
Wait, whoa, what?
Super
I
off
didn't know
topic. Did you see Gwen Preggers? She is glowing. Whoa, is this a scoop? Is this confirmed?
This must be. I did not see this.
Me neither. I'm just kind of doing a quick
Yeah.
Google. Thank you, Sarcasm for Fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I totally believe you. Right now, the news outlets. Oh, wait. Here we go. No, all the stories I'm seeing are about the engagement. So if that story is confirmed, I suppose tomorrow we'll see all the news outlets confirming that. So that's crazy. That's congratulations to those two.
Right.
We will see. I'm sure TMZ will post about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Good old TMZ. Okay, so we get a very long segment, longer than I thought it would be, about Kody calling his wives when he is on a trip with another wife.
Rob really didn't want to.
Right, yes. Robyn says, quote, I actually insisted that Kody call his other wives. Robyn thinks she's bragging about herself. She's telling on Kody that he didn't want to call his wives.
Robyn is that relative or that friend that whatever, it's like a double-edged compliment or whatever. It's like everything has like a cut to it. Like I made sure Kody called all his wives because he really didn't want to. Like, thanks. Like, why
it's like
was
a
that necessary?
Yeah. No, you're right. I didn't even think of that. She is like, I was thinking she was like kind of like ignorantly doing it, but I you're right. It also is a put down. Like he actually is so enamored with me that he doesn't even want to take 5 minutes to call the OG.
You look so beautiful for you or something. Like that's how she would come. Like, thanks. Okay. Like, thanks.
That outfit looks good on you. Do you want to try it? No.
It's far too large for me.
Right. That's for old women. Like, but I think there's also a part of it too where Robyn is looking at it from the perspective of, I'm not the dividing factor. I'm the uniting force. I'm helping Kody to bring these ladies together. See, I'm not tearing the family apart. I'm on his side and I'm on their side. Yay, team. But she's the one that's tearing the family apart, clearly. Because he took 11 days with you, hon. Like, you can't escape that.
Yeah, Danny's in the chat says it was our first peek into Robyn controlling him.
Take a second to verify this on TikTok, you guys. Hold on one second.
Or is this the pregnancy stuff?
Someone just said Gwen verified on TikTok.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Sarah. Wow. Doing the Lord's work. While Sarah is doing that, I am going to bring up Janelle because transitioning or along with this storyline about the phone calls is that Janelle's not returning the call for 7 days because she's so mad at Kody. Although she keeps in confessionals telling us, oh no, I think I'm illogically mad. She also says, quote, I know that this all gets better. That quote did not age well.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Also, Kody says, I have to become better. And I wrote narrator voice, he would become worse.
Well, it's this is the first season, so I have to put my best foot forward reaction. So I'm going to become better. I'm going to work really hard at destroying my family and spending more time with Robyn. So I mean, I guess it all depends on how you take it. So, but somebody told me when I was a kid, how you start is how you finish. So when it pretty much is what it is.
Yeah. Speaking of how it starts, I thought I was crazy when it was it last season that part of the Janelle's storyline was that like her sex life with Kody was like banging.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of the fan base was shocked. It wasn't just because we're all like, horrible people who didn't think Janelle was worthy of being they say here, like, we're buddies. It's all very platonic.
Right.
And at first I didn't understand, but as I was like rewatching this episode, writing my notes, I came to realize, and then I do want to get Sarah, if you were able to confirm that. I do want to talk about that. But I realized that I think they're worried about people thinking they had an affair. I think that's why they're saying this. I actually think they were always hot and heavy, but they're just trying to control the narrative, and they're worried, which they didn't need to be, because I don't think anyone knew, even though they said it at the one tell-all. It wasn't really discussed early on about Janelle being married to Meri's brother. So anyways, but I think that they were worried about that. What do you two think of that?
I believe that.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm not necessarily throwing accusations as much as just making an observation. Sometimes when people have done things, they know they did a thing, and they will go about denying doing a thing that they did that nobody knows that they did, but they just want to make it absolutely clear to everybody else, I did not do this. So what is it? Me think you doth protest too much. Sometimes you just telling yourself. So I never considered the fact that maybe they was knocking right before they got married, or maybe they were kind of interested in each other and had some stuff going on until you just said that, Amanda. But yeah, it kind of tracks. It kind of tracks a little bit.
Because otherwise, what we believe, which is also plausible, is that like they really were very platonic, and then somewhere along the way, with Kody treating the family worse and worse and worse, Janelle was getting hotter and hotter for him, you know? And
Right.
also, a lot of us have been in relationships, and we know like it's usually the opposite way. It's usually harder and harder to get the spark going. You have to put more effort in. And so, yeah.
Right.
Just
Well,
a theory.
There's also a point too, though, where, you know, when you're going out with folks and you kind of get that motor running, you know, because Janelle is very laid back. She's very reserved with a lot of her stuff. And she seemed like she wasn't quick to kiss on camera. She wasn't quick to show a lot of affection. So it seemed like maybe she was a little more hands off. And then, like, even as described in the book, they talk about how, Meri was always kind of gripping at him and grabbing for him and trying to get him. And Janelle was like, whoa, 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 you know, no PDAs. But, you know, behind the scenes, she back there tearing the backs off of them. So it is what it is. Good for her. Excuse me.
Gwen's TikTok, you guys, is empty. So I don't.
What?
Yeah.
I wonder if she posted it and got in trouble and then privated it, or
like this is her.
Sometimes
Unless I'm blocked, I don't know.
Right.
Oh, I doubt that. Who would block you, Sarah? I will fight them.
A couple of the family.
Right.
Best friend
dare
Jen
they?
blocked me.
Who did?
Meri's best friend Jen has me blocked. I don't know why.
On
Really?
TikTok?
Yeah, no, on Instagram.
Instagram? Wow.
Mm.
You've always
Meri
been a
doesn't
Jen
have me
fan, right?
blocked, and I don't think I've ever talked about best friend Jen. Unless in passing. So I don't know.
Wow.
Well, maybe you said something about Meri that she didn't like. I mean, that could be it too.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But I've always heard you standing Jen. That's why I was surprised.
Yeah, I've enjoyed her contributions.
Right. Or maybe she got you confused with somebody else. She's just like, the hell with it, all of them. I might be blocked. I never checked. Maybe I should go in and check to see if I'm blocked from people.
What do I do to you?
Right.
Actually,
so I
yeah.
can feel the insult. I just don't care. So
Yeah.
if y'all want to block me. I don't care. Knock yourselves out. This is all virtual reality anyway. This ain't real.
Good point.
We need to wish Kendra a happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Oh,
Kendra.
happy birthday, Kendra.
Yeah. I
Okay.
believe last week she was finishing her just 2 weeks in a row of fun stuff going for you, Kendra. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Kendra. Is Kendra in the chat? I'm looking to.
Yeah. She says I'm not 23, but I'm headed to dinner. Have a great
Oh, there she is. Kendra, happy birthday. Headed out. Okay.
All right.
Congrats. Okay, so I do want to talk about this close up we get with Meri on the phone with Kody.
Mm.
I found it very interesting. I took down some of the conversation. Cody's saying, because we really only get Kody, we don't hear Meri. So Cody's like, I like that whole texting discussion about our dreams and what we want to do with our lives. Interesting. But then he also said, remember what I told you about our dreams, and probably have to change them a little bit. Like, what?
Yes, and he called her lover.
He did say that.
Yeah.
Lover.
Which is crazy, because if they weren't actually doing anything at the time for you to call, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a slap in the face.
I think he's clearly acting in this close up to me, because he seems annoyed, and Meri's like, please text me later. And I don't know. That was my judgment. What do you think, Sarah?
Oh, I have been that girl in a relationship. So, like, promise, text me, good night, promise. Okay. Like, we've all been there. And it's like, he's just not that into you. Like,
right.
You know?
Well, and it's the weird part to me was because he had her on speaker and she wasn't talking to him. And so he was kind of like trying to keep the conversation going. And you could tell it was a belabored conversation, because he would ask her a question and she'd give like a 1 or 2 word answer. And then he would ask her another, like they would just sit there and pause for a little bit, kind of like high school kids. They sit there and pause for a little bit. And he'd ask her something else, and then she'd give him a 1 or 2 word answer. And then as soon as he's like, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and let you go, so, because, I got things to do. You got to go so soon? What? We're not even talking. What are we doing? We just burning up phone minutes. That's a throwback, by the way.
Yeah, I did write down in my notes that Meri comes off needy. And like I said earlier, I think it's an act, because we know, like, he's not with her physically during this time period. So
right.
Lover is just a word, not a description for them.
Right. And I think too, this was when it was like heavy polygamy propaganda program, where they were really pushing the idea or notion that, polygamy is this wonderful experience and everybody is getting everything that they need. And even when Kody came out, there was a point, and this is one of my this is one of those things that I thought was annoying as hell. When he came out and he started talking about trust, him and Robyn sitting there talking about trust. And I'm like, the secret keepers, the outright deception folks, the liars are talking about how important trust is. Trust is the crown jewel of the marriage. But you're not, neither one of you are trustworthy. Like, we found that out with the dress experience. We found that out with the whole thing of them always keeping secrets, the pregnancies, all that. Like, you guys are not trustworthy.
Point, that's an excellent point.
Yeah, I actually thought of that when you were saying earlier that the convertible was the crown jewel. I was like, according to Kody, it's
right.
Trust.
Okay. Oh, and we get the first utterance of the only thing that scares me is poverty in this episode.
Right.
Yes. Famously, his big famous line that he's gonna, say over and over again.
Because he thought it was cute. That's what it was. The first time he said it, I think it was like probably one of those, yeah. But the second time he said, it's like, come on, man, we know what you're working with. Stop playing. Yeah. You must be scared all the time. Because 3 wives, 18 kids.
Yeah. I have 2 kids and, diapers, formula, like daycare. It's like, what?
No, it makes no sense. I agree with you, James, that it's like just a cute line, because you know what you don't do when you're terrified of being poor? You don't have like 8 gazillion kids and take on multiple wives. You're like, oh, I care about this life more than the eternity where I'm going to be supposedly married to all these women I'm actually going to dump on earth. But
the thing that scares you is poverty. You don't take on a wife that's $30,000 in debt. Like, what?
Ding, 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 ding. Good point.
Especially when you used to already
made
struggle with
dumb
money.
financial decisions in my day, so I'm not casting aspersions, but
Right.
I mean, if you're truly worried about financial ruin, Robyn is not who you marry.
Yeah. That's not the partner for you. Especially when you already struggling. Like if you look at your wallet and it's like doing well, and your wallet is always on struggle mode, like the wrong partner for you, wrong partner selection would be somebody who has a shopping addiction, somebody who hides money, and somebody who loves spending money. And every time you turn around, she's standing in the store. That's where they film it. Like, oh, we're going out with Robyn. Well, I'm going to the store, y'all. Let's go. So no, I'm good.
Mama Squirrel, half that 30,000 debt was for eyebrow pencils. Oh, this show and eyebrows. What a storyline, right? Thank you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah, check Facebook. The post is pending. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I can't multitask.
Thank you so much for the super sarcasm for fun.
Right.
You're thanking us, but we should be thanking you for bringing us the tea.
Right.
Oh, okay. This was from when they first got together. It was a joke. So here.
Oh, so okay. So right now we're gonna keep saying alleged.
Other way.
Hold on. How do I make Sarah big? I don't know how. Oh man,
Hold on.
Oh, there you go. She does look pregnant there, but that was a joke they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that was from like a year ago or something.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Okay, so we might find out. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying thank you for the super chat.
Oh yeah, thank
Right.
you to Sarcasm for Fun. Yeah, so we might find out that this is all kind of a bunch of rumors. Ooh, the Sister Wives rumor mill loves to keep going, or maybe it is true. And
The other day when Meri launched Worthy Up, she also was talking about, oh, I just saw all these posts that I'm married. Meri,
I saw that.
nobody who posted that? Because I have not seen them anywhere.
See,
I'm
that's
glad
why I didn't block your ass there, right there.
Because you didn't believe the news posts. I thought the exact same thing, Sarah. I saw that on Instagram and I was like, what? I was like, who's
Who's saying that?
photoshopping pictures of Meri with I just didn't understand, and I had never
Right.
seen that. Please, in the chat, anyone in the chat who saw this organically in the wild, headlines where Meri is photoshopped, they're lying about her getting married. Please tell us in the chat.
Oh, and something. So I listened to the Shit Talk podcast with Ace and Caitlin Fanning, and they have the inside scoop on Worthy Up. Let's just say that.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's a good promo for the Shit Talk. Was it on their Patreon or their regular podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's just say you could spend, say, $10 and pretty much get the gist of what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's that doesn't surprise me. They really will they're like the who's that guy that made getting journalists getting in there with the subject popular? They're like that guy of Sister Wives.
Yeah. And apparently there's not that many people.
Oh wow.
At $600 top?
Less than make up the entire Brown family.
Wow. Oh wow.
Who told her to charge that much? What is she thinking?
And valid criticism when people are like $150, $300, and $600. And then people are like saying, oh my God, that's so much money. People were coming back like, that's like $18 in a month. What are you, poor? Or like people were like getting snippy. And it's like, well, I mean, Netflix, like I have all these, like, what am I going to do? Worthy Up or pay Louis? I don't know.
Right.
Oh, what are you, poor? Emily in the chat asks, what? For anybody confused, Meri Brown has started a MLM-esque community.
Self-help.
Yeah, it's a little self-helpy. It's very unclear what she's selling herself, I guess.
Mhm.
And so that has kind of been one of the main things talked about in the fan base right now. Is this worthy up that she's been building up for what seems like years? What
Right.
is it? Why is it up to $600? What is she offering? And also, like, why is Meri decided that she's the one who should be helping other people?
I will say she does sell it as a like, we're on this journey together, which I mean, if you're gonna try to sell it, that's the only way to go if you're married, because I don't think anyone is looking at Meri and it's like, yes, tell me how to live.
Right. You're leading the way. You don't mess around getting me blocked from Gen 2.
We're all blocked. Like, just
Right.
we don't even have to check. We're all
I
blocked.
don't want to like give my funk to anyone else.
Right.
Guilty by association.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say, since I'm in, I might as well be all in. Look,
Yeah.
when it's hard for me to say, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take $600 and put it aside and give it to somebody who's gonna tell me how to conduct relationships. When it took you literally stayed in a relationship probably 15 years too long. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that relationship was way over about
That's
15
being
years ago. You should have pulled up stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 15 years is like you really trying to make it work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm really trying to make this work. So I'm gonna just stick around, and Robyn comes into the family. I'm gonna stick it out, and he'll come back. Like, to hell with that. The second part of it, I don't like the idea that you start an organization that's supposed to encourage people to be better people, and then part of your people who are supposed to be learning to be better people are sitting around trying to financially shame other people because they can't afford to do your thing. If it's not for you, you can't afford to do it, that's fine. But don't sit up there, hey, it's $18 an hour a month, brokey. You can't afford to do it when you one of the poors? Like, come on. Come on.
And then what's hilarious is on her website, it says like something about this opportunity being a fundamental right. And it's like, do you know what that means? Like,
What?
like, if it's a
Apparently it's in the
fundamental
Constitution.
right, it can't cost $600.
Right? It's in the Constitution. You gotta give Meri $600. So
Yeah.
Fundamental right's going to be the new literally. Like, it's
Right.
going to lose its meaning and become the opposite.
Yes, it's part of my fundamental rights. Another thing I should have employed when I was like 16, trying to get money from my parents.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Seriously.
Don't do that. Like, I have a right to go to the mall 3 weeks later.
Mom, it is my fundamental right to get these Doc Martens.
Right.
Well, we don't get to see Kody's reunion with the family. Did you two notice they don't film his arrival, him and Robyn coming home?
Because no one noticed, probably.
Yeah, because he was at Robyn's house. That's why nobody knows.
Yeah, he went straight to Robyn's. It's Robyn's turn on the rotation. We're starting with her.
Right.
How much do you want to bet? It was they get back and it's Robyn's couple of nights.
Right.
Oh, that's how it's written on the chart. Who did
Sorry.
that? Not me.
Right.
We can't fuddle the calendar here. No.
So if it's on the chart, we got to do it.
You know the crazy one? I wonder how many times they hit him with, we had a really long courtship, so we need this time to be able to spend with each other because we waited. But like, no, you didn't have a really long courtship because she was getting full wife status the whole time, according to the wives. The minute he got the green light to marry her, he was spending the night at her house. Mm-hmm. So you've been on full wife. So why, again, I needed it. That would have burned me up. Like, I'd have been able to fly to the moon on that.
Cody says the length of the honeymoon was really important because they, the OGs, didn't have kids. We already kind of touched on this, but let me just say that again. We didn't have kids when we did our honeymoon, so that's why he needed a longer honeymoon with Robyn, because Robyn has kids now? Shouldn't it be the reverse?
Because dipping out on a newborn for a week and a half is advisable?
Right.
Excusable?
Right. I get, like, here's the thing. Like, I don't want to be a jerk about it. Like, because I'm really trying to be even-handed with it. I understand that when you married the first 3 wives, you were in a different financial position. I get that. And now you have the money. Well, theoretically, you have the money because you're older, you're more established in your career, you might have a little more disposable income. Kody didn't, though. He didn't. And so it's not fair. You're literally taking money away from your family so that you can go do something for yourself. And then you left your you left 16 children. You have 16 kids, and you thought it was a good idea. Forget the fact you got 3 wives. You have 16 kids, and you thought it was a good idea for you to go away for almost 2 weeks. That tells me everything I need to know about where you guys are operating from. And my greatest fear is poverty, but I'm gonna blow 2 weeks on vacation because that's what everybody who's worried about poverty does. That's crazy.
And the fact that all of the wives and kids left behind were like, it's not really a big deal. We have Logan. Poor Logan.
Tells you how valuable he is usually day to day. Why do we get like random footage of the wives shopping? Is this just an excuse to prove to the audience Kody can handle the kids alone?
Which we know he can't.
I know.
Right.
So
I just thought this was crazy. Like the very end of the episode, it's like, okay, and the wives are gonna go shopping
for like Halloween like witch hats and stuff. It was like interesting.
It's like, okay.
You're right.
Let's see. I wrote this quote down. We're getting towards the end of the episode. Kody, I still have as much love, depth, and affection as I ever did for Christine, Meri, and Janelle. 13 years later, season 18, it's I don't love them the way I love Robyn. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, I never loved them, actually.
Yeah,
you were saying how you never was in
or
love
it was
with them.
an act, not a performance.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
The act was easy. The act was easy. Over the table. Like, you trying to get this park tore up, bro. What are you talking about? The act was easy.
Meri compares polygamy to childbirth right before the end. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be like like Kody did the same thing where he was saying that like just because you have one child doesn't mean you don't love your other children. And just because you have one wife doesn't mean you don't love your other wives. Yeah, but it kind of means that you don't leave them for 11 days at a time. You know what I mean? Because you're hanging out with one. That means you have a favorite. Like if you hang out with your kid, you have 2 kids, and one kid you go out with, like, okay, it's your birthday. I'm gonna take you out for a couple of days. We're gonna go to Chuck E. Cheese and we're gonna go to the park. And then you take the other kid, and all of a sudden your ass is going to Disney World for 14 days. Guess what? You have a favorite. Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah. And it's not. It can be damaging to the child to have an open favorite.
Right.
Yeah.
And what we've learned so much, and I watch her name's Amanda Ray. She was on Escaping Polygamy, and she has a YouTube channel, and she was part of the Kingston clan, and she talks all the time about how the order of your father's, like where the wives found favor with the father is where the kids also found favor.
Right,
so
right,
falling in and out of favor for the wives meant the kids were falling in and out of favor. And that is like the most messed up part of all this.
Right, right. Well, it's the transactional. I think it kind of roots into the transactional nature of their relationships.
Yeah.
So the kids are tied to the mom. So if I like coming over to the mom's house, then I'll by default spend time with the children. But if I have a difficult time, or I don't have the honeymoon, I'll use their terms. I don't have the honeymoon experience when I come over to the wife's house because she actually want to talk about bills and real crap that's happening in the crib. then all of a sudden, I want to hang out with you, and so therefore your kids will suffer. So the weird part is it encourages them not to actually have conversations with the husband, so they never have to really take responsibility. And the second part that kind of tweaks me a little bit, especially with the annotation of religion, is it's okay for you to suffer here now, because later on, after you die, you're going to be rewarded. So the more you suffer now, and the more I put you through, because I'm going to put you through some crap with this new woman, the more reward you're going to have. It's going to be glorious. So I guess these women are in line to get them golden chariots after the day of reckoning, because he's making them suffer. It's crazy.
That's part of why a lot of the people on Seeking Sister Wife who don't have the religious aspect struggle to keep wives. They struggle to get wives, but they also struggle to keep wives. I mean, I'm, a newer than you two viewer to the show, and it's like incredible. Every couple, it's like, oh, failed sister wife, broken up family. This, like Robyn is not by any means the first reality TV sister wife to, or the Browns are not the first family to not make it as polygamists.
Right.
And I do think part of what keeps other families that aren't on reality TV, because they're like in a cult, is the cult, the religion,
Right.
Yep.
They don't have that reward.
It definitely helps because when you tie to religion in as well, it also helps that you have social implications tied to it too. So all of a sudden, it's not just a matter of you not getting into heaven, but you're isolated within a community. And then because you want to leave your marriage or your relationship, you're cut off from that entire community now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not just abandoned or, this relationship doesn't work, so I'm leaving my husband. You now have to leave your whole community, everybody you've ever known. And in some cases, you have to be willing to walk away from your kids. Mm-hmm. And because they'll hold the kids back, even though they don't ever deal with the kids, do the kids, or babysit the kids, or watch the kids, they still try to hold the kids back from the mom when they try to leave. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of stuff. So I think that's a good point. I think that's a great point about
I actually
them not having
want to touch
component
on this when we talk about Seeking Sister Wife, because with the Salahudins, it's really interesting how we have like a theological debate going on, because we have we have the Salahudins and then their friends who are practicing Muslims saying that their religion okays this, but then we have their family members saying no, like this is no, like, and they're saying how their religion says no, like you should not do this.
Yeah, that speaks to James' point about culture, because even though they're Muslim, like maybe if they lived in a Muslim community in a different part of the world where it was more normalized, they would be reinforced with the polygamy. But they are in, Pennsylvania and America, and their mom is like, no, she's giving them negative feedback for this.
And it seems like the mom is not wanting to have her religion like tarnished by this like lifestyle. It's like she doesn't want them giving Islam a bad name. That's like the vibe I'm getting from her.
Right. Yeah, I can appreciate that too, though, because you don't want to have like when you stand out in a crowd and somebody who is in that similar cultural background, whatever the case may be, comes into the room, you recognize that person also is an example of you. So I can see her trying to protect her identity and her religion from misinterpretation, or people saying, see how they are? They're different and they're not like us. When she's saying, no, we are more like you than not like you. And then you have them coming in and saying, no, we're totally different because we believe that you should do all this craziness. And we'll get into it with the Salahudins, because I got something to say about that. Yeah,
I think we're at a good natural point to segue, but let's thank you, Kikalika, for the super thanks. Kikalika is saying here in the chat, I've been married for 10 years. I wouldn't mind my husband leaving for 10 days. I'm more worried about the money. That's without 6 kids. What are the chances production paid for all of this honeymoon?
I think at least part of it.
Right.
Okay.
I would be willing to bet that they paid for half.
Yeah.
So the first week they paid for because they're going to do the filming. So they do like the activities and things like that. And that probably encourages Kody to do a whole bunch of reckless stuff. Because again, when you have 13 kids at home and you have a lot of you don't have 13 kids. What am I talking about? I'm so crazy. I can't count. You have 16 kids because now you have her 3. So you have 16 kids at home. It's kind of crazy to me that your first thing that pops into your head is, hey, let's go up the side of a mountain and come down on a rope. What could go wrong? I mean, I only have 16 children to take care of. Like, you have to start being more protective of yourself. So I think that they paid for part of it and then maybe paid for half of it. And then the rest of it, Kody and the family paid for, which is still too much. Because I would have said, look, they just take what they paid for and you bring your ass home.
That's a good
know
point,
what I mean?
because we really see just like a few days of footage. We're not seeing 11 days
Right.
of footage or even close.
Right.
Mm.
Okay.
And when you compare it to what Kody spent on the other honeymoons, which was essentially a tank of gas.
Right. And some nachos because you got to get the road grub. Like,
Yeah. But not for Christine. No nachos.
yeah,
for
not for Christine. Yeah.
What is the
Maybe that's why Meri got sick.
Right?
Maybe she got food poisoning.
Oh, God, those honeymoons sounded awful. I would rather just like stay home, staycation it.
I am
Right.
not a fan of road trips. My husband really likes road trips. This is where we differ. And unless it's like essential and necessary, I'm not like Christine who wants to take a drive. It's for me, it's to what purpose am I driving?
Where are we going?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so these sounded like straight up not a good time.
Right.
Yeah, I spent 2.5 years on the Duramed Futures Tour playing like minor league women's golf basically, and I drove up and down the East Coast, and now I'm like, nope, I'll fly 30 minutes. Like, I'll do a little if there's a cheap flight, sign me up.
Pop that puddle jumper and we out.
Yep, I'll risk my life on that little plane that feels like it's made of paper.
Right.
My husband flew Spirit like a year ago, and he said that was an experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That population control, that's what they call Spirit.
It's real bare bones, like here.
Right. Instead of an emergency seat, they offer you duct tape. You are in charge of the duct tape. So
They just tape
things go wrong.
Yeah. If things start shaking, just use your
Just
teeth
start
to tear it.
Right.
Thank you, Aunt Mitty, for the super. Aunt Mitty says, witch hats? How pagan. Almost as pagan as Easter.
Yeah.
Right. Good point. Good point. Oh, Mitty. Okay.
Oh, these pagans. Okay. Shall we transfer over to Seeking Sister Wife? Anything else about the honeymoon special?
Great episode. The early seasons are so good and they're so infuriating. And it's so funny. I can't reconcile my 14 year ago brain how I actually thought Kody was charismatic and likable. I'm like,
right.
I think it's like the knowledge we have. I can see some scenes where he's a little bit likable on this.
But even this flexing, like, how on earth did I think that was like? But
this isn't hot for you.
Yeah,
a pasty white guy being like,
right. Well, you know what? I think that there is something to be said about having confidence. Confidence in and of itself is an attractive trait.
Yeah.
So I think that the fact that he was outgoing made him attractive because he seemed so confident in a lot of the things that he did. However, I just don't like the problem I have, and even when we talk about, I guess we'll transition to Seeking Sister Wives, but the problem I have throughout most of these polygamous relationships is there seems to be very little responsibility that's taken on the side of the husbands when they're participating in this. And I'm just saying that because I would be in that position. I don't see where they're taking responsibility for making sure that their partner's needs are being fulfilled and that they're getting the things that they need out of the relationship. I hear a lot about them talking about the things that they need and what's important to them, but I don't hear them talking about what their partners need and what they can do to make their partner's situations better. And that's what I think. Like I said, that's the part that when I was watching it, rewatching it, I got frustrated because I'm like, this whole thing is just incredibly selfish. It's just incredibly selfish.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Let's see. Aunt Mitty, we all forget. Oh, did I already do this one? Maybe. Anyways, good comment. We all forget Kody had the final say regardless. Yeah. Oh, no. I did the witch hats, and then sorry, trying to keep up with the super chats here. Thank you to Karen McGrath for the super. Who do you think paid for the honeymoons for the Duggar kids? Not them. So did the Duggar kids have honeymoon specials?
I only caught episodes of 19 Kids and Counting here and there, and so I much more followed the like criminal stuff that Josh Duggar got involved in. So I'm not 100% sure. I do know from watching that Shiny Happy People documentary that their wedding episodes and their birthing episodes were the highest rated episodes for that series. And you know what's so interesting is I get so many comments saying, please, for the love of God, do not show any more births on Sister Wives. Like, we do not need to see. We know how it works, right? Sorry,
right.
Like,
you're excited
and you're snuggling your baby. We don't need to go through it with you.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And I have honestly not watched a lot of these birth scenes ever. I have not been able to. I fast forwarded every time.
So what's coming up in season 19 is like the birth of McKelty's twins. And I don't know how much of that is going to actually make it onto the show, because McKelty said that some of the footage isn't actually able to be seen because they didn't have actual permission to film in the hospital. But regardless, it's like, and your twins are like almost 2 years old now. So
right. I didn't know she went to the hospital for the twins.
Yeah, she had to have a C-section.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought maybe she just said, you know what, the hell with it. It's two of them. Yeah, we going to get some of that back action, pop, and then.
I mean, I'm sure ultimately it's your body. I'm sure you do have a choice, but from my understanding, multiple births automatically put you in the like high risk category, and they don't give you a whole lot of choices.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's strong recommendations, but
exactly, you of course don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But I don't know if you're gonna find a midwife that's gonna.
I'm sure they can. These people are lunatics. Like, I'm sure they'd be like, "Look, I'll do it. I don't care." I mean, because it's not you on the table. That's why you'll do it. You don't care because you're not feeling anything. I was saying more from the perspective of McKelty making the decision herself. Like, I saw what my mom went through when she had Truly, and I want some of that. I want some of that goodness. So when I get there, you hit me up with the medicine, and we'll see what that feel like.
Mm-hmm.
There's no shame in it. You don't have to suffer, ladies. You don't have to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to suffer anymore. It doesn't make the moment more special.
Us ladies don't have to suffer, but remember when Kody told Christine to save grocery money if she wanted a vacation? Thank you for the super MC.
I think we missed Lizzie B's super chat. A little further up, it says, "Really, Kody, no more affection." I'm not sure if you.
Let me see here.
It's right above Kika Lika's.
For some reason, today when I went live, it didn't automatically star the supers. So
bummer. So sorry if we missed any, you guys.
I do apologize.
Yeah.
You said it was before Kika Lika's?
Yes, right after Aunt Mitty's witch hat one.
Okay.
Right.
time seeing it.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm missing them all. Sorry, Lizzie B.
No.
Thank you for the
Yeah,
super.
so sorry, you guys, if we've missed
Right.
Thank you, everybody in the comments, for keeping us honest. Okay, Lizzie, really, Kody? No more affection? Well, thank you for the breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs, that is, with
Nacho
some
bread.
fun emojis and the bread
Pause.
emoji. Hashtag nacho bread no mo.
Yeah, right.
And to MC's point, with Christine needing to save her grocery money for a vacation, Kody has this way of like calling like vital, necessary trips vacation. I believe Christine was wanting to go, like we learn in
Right.
season 18, her dad is like extremely sick and he's been sick for a long time. In that scene, she was wanting to travel to visit her dad. And
Right.
I mean, I don't think at that time we knew exactly how sick he was or what he was sick with, but it was like visiting her dad was deemed a vacation.
Right. And because that's what I was going to say. But even if you put that in the context, imagine you're married to a guy and he tells you, well, if you want to go see your sick, desperately sick father, save up your vacation money. And then in comes Robyn. I need some money so I could pay the nanny. Oh, hold on, baby. Let me get that for you. That's what she was dealing with. And that's why so many people, when you look at this situation, Kody, I hate to tell you, this is why people don't like you. This is why people find such a strong aversion to the way you were treating these ladies, because it wasn't fair. There was no fairness here. There was no justice. There was no equality. There was no even-handedness. There was just merely you did what you wanted to do to make your situation better. You thought that Robyn was the key to making your situation better, so you did whatever she wanted you to do. And the rest of them, they just got to pick up sticks. You didn't care. And that's where, like I said, this is where it gets kind of crazy and where I think some of the frustration comes in, because you see it's just nastiness.
And then if anybody does have a problem or voices their hurt or frustration, it's their personal failing. It's their issue with jealousy, not the fact that you're treating them poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Right,
remember at one point where they're doing therapy, he literally says out loud, I don't want to have to work on anything, or something along those lines. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to have to change. I don't want it to be me.
Yeah.
Well, because it was it was that last therapy session they filmed with him and Meri and that horrible therapist they had. But
Nancy?
he said basically, we're not talking about me. I'm just here to beat up on Meri. And she was like, okay, we'll do that. Like, that's not a plan. If we're not going to have a clear conversation where we can be open and honest and talk about our issues, then there's no point in us doing a therapy session. I'm going to go ahead and leave now because I want to save this $200-300. Hell, I'll give the $500 to what is it? A worthy up. It'd be that'd be better money spent than sitting here with you letting this dude beat up on me. Come on now, that's not a therapy session.
The
only
saving grace with Meri's worthy up is that if you choose to part with your money in this fashion, you can rest assured that probably Robyn and Kody are not getting their hands in that. So
yeah, I think that's over. Hopefully.
Silver lining, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Okay, let's jump into Seeking Sister Wife, where it's just chaos, sheer chaos.
So good though, so good.
What should we talk about first? Natalia and Garrick learn they are not going to get married.
Cause duh. Cause duh.
Right.
Because you guys are committing immigration fraud on TV. And Brazil is like, we don't want none of this. Please.
I can see at the civil service office, they're like, oh, you don't think we have the Googles?
Yeah.
We have the Googles. Let your ass up.
We have internet here.
Yeah, how backwards do you think we are? Like, you think this? What do you think this thing is on my desk? It's called a computer, and I looked you up.
Yeah, Danielle sent us all the info.
Yeah, basically, and that's where my money is. That's where my money is.
Honestly,
I think she did that.
I know that we're like kind of joking, but yeah, do you like what are the chances that it really was Danielle?
100%.
Is
100%.
saboteur. She is
100%.
Okay,
because
but
this season she has Garrick going on dates with someone not Natalia. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 100% set that up. Because if you remember, before she went down there, she was complaining that Garrick had went down there. He had spent 6 weeks. She felt like she was losing her husband, and she thought she was going to be a single parent. Just, from what I know, if you piss a woman off real good, and she's sitting there with your baby, and you gonna think you gonna go off and have a happily ever after with another woman? Not on my watch, sucker. Hello, immigration from is this Rio de Janeiro? Yes. I would like to call and inquire about my husband, please.
Mm-hmm. How many ways can Garrick express his disappointment? Like,
right.
Oh wow, we were trying to get Natalia pregnant. Oh wow, this was surely unexpected. In 14 years, this has never happened. Oh wow.
Yeah, there are two people who are very unsuccessful at hiding their true feelings. Danielle cannot hide how happy she is that the marriage is not happening. And Garrick cannot hide how disappointed he is that it's Danielle who's pregnant instead of Natalia.
Yes.
Right.
And what's so sad is like people, I feel like signing up for TV shows don't realize like your kids may not watch this one day, but they could.
I would.
You just memorialized all of this.
Yeah.
Well, there's also the point too. Your kids may not watch it, but their friends might.
Good point.
And when let me tell you about your mom. Your mom, you know what I mean? Like I want to have some of the conversations. I don't want to have about my mother. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to talk about how my mom went down and she was hooking up with this dude in Brazil or whatever, and jealous and scared that she was gonna lose her husband. Like I don't have that conversation.
Yeah, and their older kids are like high school age. Like this is so uncool. Like
yeah, and that's a hell of a oops baby too. You got grown ass kids, and all of a sudden you come back with a oops baby. Oh man, you messed up, bro. You messed up.
Do you think Natalia's gonna stay after this?
When she finds out she's not coming to America, she's out. I think that's what it is. Like when she finds out she's not coming, because she's not. But boo boo, if you're watching this live, I'm telling you, you're not coming in. Like it's just not gonna happen for you.
What do you think, Sarah?
I mean, the last thing I would wish on anyone would be Garrick as
right.
Because he might be worse than Kody. I don't know. Like he is so perverted with like I can actually speak to his religious doctrine because I grew up Christian, and like sometimes I hesitate to like, I know Mormons, they consider themselves Christian, but there's a whole lot of doctrine that I am unfamiliar with. So I don't want to like speak on that as if I'm knowledgeable. But it's like, Garrick, I know what you're talking about. And I would not want to meet my maker having said some of the shit that you've said. So
I've never in my life felt like the preacher's daughter in me come out in such a long time. And he says so many things where I'm just like, blasphemy. Oh my God. This is like, it's insane. And I mean, he is offending a lot of people. I don't know if he knows this.
I mean, I was watching this with my mom, and my mom is like, Sarah, like, on it. Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
You're like, yeah, Mom, it is. Totally.
Like, well, I'm like, oh, but the rest is so good.
Well, I think that there's like a point where like I have faith, but the thing is that I've always been very hesitant about saying that this is what it is and this is what it isn't. Like I've been very hesitant about it because I could be wrong. And I don't want to like kind of what you guys were saying. I don't want to get up to heaven and be like, you were preaching and telling people that this is what it is, and you were completely off base. You know how many people you put on the highway to hell, bro? Like, we're gonna put your ass on the express. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. So I'm very hesitant about it, but it amazes me that Garrick is so confident with half the stuff he says because there's zero religious doctrine to back up any of that. Like, I don't know where you got this from. Like, he talks about religion like a prepubescent teenager, because at that point everything is about sex and sexuality.
It is, and it's honestly, it's like, dude, like, do you have some like sex addiction or like something? Because it's like all of these rationales, it all goes back to sex. They
Right.
can just being purely engaged is cause for Garrick to be able to have sex with Natalia, and then they're actively trying to get her pregnant for 6 weeks. In my mind, that means they're consummating quite a bit when you're like
Right.
trying to get pregnant. And so it's like, you're just a pervert. Like,
He's a pervert pastor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I don't call him Walmart Jim Jones for nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
All cult leaders or wannabe cult leaders have one thing in common. They are gross sexually. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we
And
be
he's got
gross
it.
in other ways?
Yeah. Diversify your grossness, Garrick, please.
Be like creepy for money. I mean, I know there's that aspect too, or something, but like,
Money is a tool. But
Yeah.
I'll say this: like, the one thing about Garrick, and this is what I meant, like, the thing that annoys me, well, I don't say the most, or even, it's just one of the things that annoys me about Garrick. His insistence of crying doesn't equate to you being sensitive about other people or taking other people into consideration. I think that that's just the default. When he starts crying, and I know I'm gonna get smashed for this, but I don't care. Like, when he starts crying, he reminds me of a little kid, because I'm not saying that as a man you can't show emotion, but I'm not seeing emotion when he cries. What I see is reaction. He uses his tears to get out of trouble. He's like a little kid that gets scolded, and then all of a sudden, like, what are you doing? Like, you're not crying because you're upset. You're not afraid. You just don't want to be in trouble. And he doesn't have any responsibility to these women, because even when they were sitting there talking about how they were having a disagreement, he said to them, well, that's the purpose of me having 3 wives, because when one is having trouble, basically he wants to take the one wife he's not having trouble with and leave the other wife to deal with the emotional fallout of whatever it is he did. Like, that's the most lazy. And again, that's what I'm talking about with the way these guys are approaching their polygamy. He's not taking any responsibility for the havoc that he's raising in these women's lives. He's taking zero responsibility. And to me, that's not adult, and that's not manly for you to sit there and shirk all your responsibilities in these relationships.
I would love for the anthropology students to come visit the Merrifields, because like, what gives with Danielle, man? Like, what, like, we talk about Meri staying, but like, Kody at least paid her lip service on camera for, I don't know, 10-ish plus years. Like, Garrick's physically visible disappointment when like Danielle is around is like palpable.
Right.
I think that Danielle is, she tells us herself, I can't remember if it's in one of the recent episodes or if it's just all the, they're all mashing together in my head. But I know at one point Danielle says, this is what God wanted for me. God meant for me to meet Garrick. That story they told at one point, I don't know if it was this season or last, but that story they told about her, like stealing him from her friend because God told him or her to, or whichever one it was, I can't remember. I think she has really convinced herself that that is true. And so if in her mind, no matter what, the one truth I know is I'm supposed to be with Garrick, then she's not going to notice. She's going to be like, well, it seems like he's just not that into me, but that's a book. That's not the truth, because God meant Garrick to be with me. So that's what I think's going on.
And then
Right.
how do you have family members like Naeem's mom, who, in my opinion, totally right on the money with like calling it like she sees it. And then April's brother, like totally calling it like he sees it. But then like Danielle's parents and brother and sister-in-law, like what? I would not be able to get my family to shut up on camera if like I was doing some shenanigans like this. They would
Right.
be like, you are making terrible life choices. They would be.
What are you doing?
Is her name Jamila?
Yeah, the mom.
Jamila.
Yeah,
The mom.
Jamila.
I would it'd be Jamila and April's brother. Like that would be like my mom and any family member that if I was like, yeah, let's go on Siggy's sister wife.
Right. Well, I think that with Danielle, the one thing with her is that I think that Garrick strikes to her insecurities. And from my perspective, I see her as the poster child of what happens when you tie your identity, your very identity, in essence of who you see yourself as, to somebody else. Like she sees herself as Garrick's wife. Full stop. That's the total universe of her world and how she sees herself. So even as like the family members, if they go in and I guess, kind of defending them a little bit, but I say the hell with it. You got to, plant your flag and ride for yours. But I can see a world where the family members may be afraid that if they push her too hard, that they might lose her. Because she's so invested. And the crazy part is the longer this goes on, the more she invests in it, the deeper she gets, and the harder it's going to be for her to break out. And it's going to require Garrick to actually leave her. Like I don't know if she has it in her to walk away from this situation. It's a sad situation, but at the same time, I refuse to give Danielle a pass. Because there's a fine line between when you are the victim and when you become a co-conspirator. And she's more moving into that co-conspiracy.
Absolutely.
part.
And Kody had to literally push these women so far, he left them no other choice but to leave. And is like, is that what we're seeing here now with Garrick? Is like, he's doing, like, he can't be the one to break up or divorce. So he's going to be so horrible that you have to do it.
Right. You're going to leave me.
Mm-hmm.
Or if the crazy part is, even if you don't, Garrick is using her for the essence of convenience, because he gets to go down there with Natalia, knock her off for as long as he wants. But then when he needs to come back, hey, guess what? I got my home base. I got my home base piece, because he doesn't see her as a person. And even no matter how you say, well, that's taken away from her as a person and a human being. That's how he sees her. She's a convenience. He gets to come home. I get to take her down. Danielle's a woman that Garrick gets to take on vacation with him when he goes to meet these women for the first time right before he proposed to him, because, he can't go to 2 dates. Well, before he put the ring on the finger and try to sleep with her. But,
right.
But while he's waiting for that to happen, he has her there to help him with his sexual release. And then once he gets his engagement, okay, you can go now. Let me go and spend time with my new fiance. And that, it's a shame.
We're getting on Kody for going off for 11 days. Garrick?
He went 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Right.
6 weeks without seeing his kids. 6 weeks with, how are you running a construction business from Brazil?
Right.
Yeah, how much work is Garrick doing? Who's really running the company? Is he running that company?
It looks like his brother, like his brother
maybe?
was doing a lot of the work.
Yeah.
So, and it kind of begged too, like when her father and her parents moved in with him. I didn't know whether they were financially tied to Garrick too, and that's why they weren't saying anything, because they needed his money too, so they didn't want to ruffle any feathers. But
I've seen that online, like, disputed, but I instinctively just assumed. I didn't even question it. I was like, oh, surely that's why they're not saying anything, because they are financially invested. Although, per some of the stuff we talked about earlier with cults, I remember watching a culty documentary, and the advice that people who help the family members of cult members is often like, whatever you do, just try to keep in contact. So per what James was saying, yeah, that they may be very conscious of like, this is insane, but at least she's talking to us.
The
Yeah.
the Twin Flames documentary, there was a mom who that was like very much because, you know, at the end of the day, like most of these people, when we're talking about like cults and stuff, are adults, and adults are allowed to make decisions regardless of how nonsensical it might seem to us. But it's like, if they're not being literally held against their will, there's only so much like law enforcement can do.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
Amanda, you're absolutely right. That is like the advice. It's like, if you want to keep in contact, it kind of has to be like on their terms. If they have no interest in leaving.
Right. And we
it's
can't
really
forget
hard.
either that when it comes to Garrick has already cut off his family. So if he'll cut off his people, there's no reason in the world to think that he won't cut off Danielle's folks and her relatives and everybody else. Like, I don't talk to my parents, and I don't give a damn about talking to yours. You know what I mean? So I can see them being concerned about it. But again, sometimes you just gotta let folks know. Like, because maybe that's what she needs. I don't know. I'm not her friend. So I don't know. Maybe but from my mind, maybe she needs to hear like, Danielle, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Like, stop. It's not working.
Yeah.
Like, this dude doesn't care about you at all. And the worst part is, it's almost at a point now where I think Garrick sees it kind of as a challenge. Like, how much can I put her through before she's had enough? Like, because I've done some pretty jacked up stuff, and I didn't think she would last, but she endured. So can I give her one more thing, and will she take it? And you know what I mean? Because a lot of the stuff he does is just clearly like, it's cruel for cruelty's sake. He doesn't have to be that mean to her or treat her that bad or poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. He could definitely treat her better. So before we have to get out of here, let's talk about, I know there's like some other stuff to talk about. We'll have to maybe save that for next week, because I want to talk about, to me, what I see the next most talked about thing in the last couple of weeks, which is the Salahudins. And I don't know if we want to talk about the rumors that have like of them allegedly about Naeem and Nyla being related. Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
There was a YouTube video and people claiming to be like one of the people in the it's people in the comments. So this is all allegedly. Take it with a grain of salt. I have seen a few comments on my own videos from people saying this. So again, allegedly, but we're seeing more and more smoke about them being related. Somebody claiming to be one of their children was like, yep, I'm the daughter. They're first cousins.
Well,
that is nasty.
What I've heard is she had kids. Like, first of all, does she look like she has like a 30-year-old kid? Because like, I need her skincare routine.
Oh, Nyla? Yeah.
Immediately. She does not look a day older than 30, in my opinion. So anyways, keep doing what you're doing because it's working for you.
Right.
But apparently she had kids and maybe he had kids and then they have kids together.
One was what the rumor mill said, was that they have one daughter together.
There was a point where she calls Jamila auntie, and some people were saying maybe that's just like a term of endearment, like a cultural term of endearment, or is she really her auntie?
Right. Well, I thought that was I took it as just a term of endearment. Like I didn't take it as her actually being her aunt. But I mean, I say aunt, but
that's the rumor that
Naeem's
mom and Nyla's mom are sisters. That is the alleged rumor.
I will say this: look, forget all the polygamy stuff. If one of my kids showed up with one of my brother's kid, like hell no, hell to the no. Like we're having that conversation before we even start talking about you had partners. Like we got to talk about the first partner. Like that's not happening. Like you guys ain't showing up to the cookouts with that. Like we're not doing that.
Okay, well, now y'all got me thinking maybe I'm wrong and I'm scared. So all allegedly, and maybe this is just like total gossip and rumors and like an attack against them.
TBD, we will do some more research on
Right.
that. People are enlightening me that auntie is a term of endearment for elders in
Right.
a lot of cultures. So that is probably likely the reason why I mean, it might be a term of endearment, but she was not endearing her when she was talking to her like that. Also,
Yeah, she's
were
talking
they
reckless.
just like, I feel like they're trying to constantly antagonize this woman because they're trying to like surprise her with, oh, Amanda, you guys, we've learned has like an hour and a half time limit before her internet goes out. So that's why we were trying to wrap up. So she'll be back, but they're trying to push their dates on the mom who wants no part of this. And then they
Mhm.
bring not only a polygamist, but a woman who's dating the man and
Polyamorous.
the woman.
Yeah.
It's like a completely other lifestyle. Like,
Right.
I feel like they're
But
just
did you
trying to
catch
antagonize her.
when the when the mom heard that the woman was polyamorous and she has a relationship? Essentially, for those who might not be in the know, that just means basically that she has a relationship with not only the wife, and she also has a relationship with the husband. So she has a boyfriend and girlfriend, and those two are a couple. So they have their all separate relationships. But when she said that, the mother looked at Nyla, I think her name is Jamila, or the woman Nyla. She looked at her and she thought, "Oh, this is what you into? This is what I thought it was." You know what I mean? So I think that kind of sparked a whole different controversy for the mom. But
this
my thing
woman
is
so against this, and they're just trying to like shove her into the deep end of it. And it's like, this is so unadvisable.
Like, we're taking you to a different place. And my thing is, if she's not into it, why are we having it? Because it got to a point, like during the course of this conversation, where it actually almost broke. Hey, Amanda's back.
Hey.
We're talking about the confrontation. It got to a point where they almost got into a physical altercation on a porch. Like grown folks about to fight on a porch, crazy, reckless. But it's just a point where it's so disrespectful, because I don't mind having a discussion of ideas. I don't mind having the conversation about whether I think something is right, whether I think it's wrong, what the theory is behind it. But the mistake that the young lady made was she went after her personally and started calling her names, and that never ends well. Like, so she called her an ass. So it just doesn't, like, that's not going to go good. Like, what do you think? Oh, all of a sudden I'm going to call you this name and that's going to prove my point. No.
Yeah, I felt like Jamila initially was trying to be like, you know what? I'm not going to be baited. You know, I'm just going to leave. But, you know, Nyla escalated. And then Jamila, they were both at one point escalating because they were both like, basically like, you want to go? You want to go?
Yeah.
Right.
But in those initial moments, it really was Nyla escalating, in my opinion.
Right.
Well,
Right.
and likely if they're trying to just, you know, bash her over the head with this lifestyle, Jamila is going to have to come to a point where it's like, do you have a relationship with these people? If it's not something they just do and you guys don't talk about it, if they have to like have this in your face, then how is it possible for you guys to have a relationship?
Right.
It's
right.
really
I mean,
bad.
would they, outside of like the show, like surely the show is constantly like, Jamila, we need you back on screen. Jamila, please come to a scene.
They don't have a relationship with her. Like,
Right.
Right.
They're
Nyla
literally
called
just like antagonizing this poor woman.
We're going to call you up, invite you out, and yell at you.
She said something like, you don't see your grandchildren anyways, or something like that. And
Right. You don't have a relationship with them. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, if like, why are you like forcing this on her?
Well, because what she said was like, she said that you only speak to her for about 5 minutes at a time or whatever. But I could see that. Like, if especially, a young lady who's in her teen years, she might not want to sit there and want to have a full-on conversation with her grandmother. Like that happens. But my thing is, how are we sitting here having an argument about something you might do? You guys can't even find somebody who wants to be in a relationship with you. Why are we arguing? What are we arguing about?
That is an excellent point, James. We are putting the cart before the horse here.
Right.
Why are you trying to airwalk across this bridge that you don't even need yet? You're on solid monogamous ground. Yeah.
Right. You aren't even close. You don't even have a person that you're kind of talking to, and we need to figure out how we're going to introduce this person to the family. Another step to that is, instead of us having a theoretical, because again, this is a theoretical conversation. What do you think about this, out there in the universe? But if you have a real person that you can attach to it, and you bring that real person with their real values into the situation, you may change her mind about how she sees it. Because if she could talk to this person and see an actual, like how this would actually work with this actual person, then that might be a course for her to change her mind. But as it stands right now, I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on my square. No, I don't believe in this. And that's just where she is. So you're not changing her mind. Like, it's not gonna happen. I don't care how much you yell at her or call her names.
I'm with Danny in the chat. Danny says I have to bribe my teen sons to call their grandmas. I'm like at that age where it's on me to call my grandma. But when I was a kid, it was very dependent on my parents. Like, you're like just busy being a kid.
Yeah.
Right. You're not thinking about it.
No.
Your whole life is ahead of you too. Like, and that's the crazy thing about it. Like, if you think about it, as you get older, you start got more life behind you than you do ahead of you. Then you start taking account of time. But when you're young, you got your whole life ahead of you. You always have tomorrow. Tomorrow is always there for you. So no, I'm not. You know what I mean? For them, like, oh, will you talk to your grandparents about what? Before there was the internet, so that's what we're gonna talk about. Are you serious? When they invented microwaves, is that what we're gonna talk about? And how they had to cook for 4 hours? Like, no, I'm good. So you might have to have that kind of corral your kids into having those conversations with their grandparents. Not unreasonable.
Yeah.
Danny brings up a good point. She says, Danny says, I'm a Latina. If I did what they did to Jamila with my mom at age 47, I would be dead and on camera nonetheless.
Right.
Like,
I found that to be shocking.
I'm gonna say it like this. Me and we all in that, me, Jamila and them, we all from the same culture, obviously. But I'm telling you, to this day, my dad is 80 years old, and I would never jump up and talk about my father like that. I'm probably twice as big as my father, but I would never do that. Like that, it would never even cross my mind to sit there and call my dad an ass, or call like a senior or elder an ass to their face. Like, you might be like, man, I don't know what they talking about. They stupid. I don't know what they talk. What you say? Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, exactly. You do that in private.
Yeah.
Right?
You go in your room and you say all of the things you wanted to say, but you would never say to their actual face. You never say it to their actual face.
Yep.
Yeah, rock or frack or rock. I'm gonna talk to me. I'm getting your face.
When my grandma, when she was lecturing me about like tattoos and stuff, I wasn't like, you a-hole. I was like, yes, grandma. Like, however I felt on the inside, I was just like, very,
Right. You're not going to tell me what to do with my body. It's my body. Hello. Like, come on. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. It was disrespectful as hell. And it just showed poorly on everybody involved. Like, as far as I'm concerned, it showed poorly on everybody involved.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, like, this show has gotten so crazy. If you're on like an MTV show or something, surely production is prepared for the potential of like a physical fight. I'm wondering if production even knew what to do, because like the restaurant manager dipped out, like took one look and was like, "I'm not dealing with this."
I know, right? They're like, we did not sign up for this.
Yeah, I think the manager put them out because of the way they left. I think she put them out. But with TLC. Folks, if you ever on a TLC show, you are not safe. So no. I think they're like, oh, this is gonna be reality TV gold. If one of them take a swing,
You think so? You're
Yeah,
right.
I think they'll catch it all on camera. They do not care. They'll put you in a room with a killer and be like, okay, well, I didn't know.
Well, they'll put you in a room with Kyle Gordy over on Love in Paradise, Mr. Sperm Guy. Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah. Or was the one guy, I had a guy that I talked about from 90 Day Fiance, another 90 Day Fiance guy who Gregory, I think his name was. He beat and raped a woman he said was his fiance. He
I
had
think you're
another
talking about
woman.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
He's in jail.
He had
right
a
now.
wife. He raped a woman who thought she was his fiance while he had an active wife. And then after he did that, like he beat her up, knocked her out, she's unconscious. He wakes her up, washes her down in the tub, does his thing again. Then a week later, he flies to Moscow with TLC to start filming 90 Day Fiance with another woman. Like this, like they will put you in a situation with some folks.
That is
Like, so you gotta watch
terrible.
yourself.
That's
Yeah.
like serious. Wow. Oof. Oh wow. Well, I don't know how to segue from that, but Emily asks, how's Danielle Davis's new potential wife? We get to meet Jasmine in this latest episode. They do a ladies meet and greet with Jasmine. And it's a very quick scene, but it's because it's immediately she makes it very clear her storyline is that she's desperate for stability, and that's why she's there with the Davises.
She's perfect then.
Yeah. Yeah. She
She
would have said
loves
anything.
the idea of sleeping in one bed, and she wants to have as many kids as possible. Like, what?
Well, she wants to have as many kids as they want to have. So anything that they would have said, if she said, well, we only got room for one more child, then one more child would be perfect. I want 50 kids. I would love to have 50 children. Like
Yeah.
she would have said anything. So they need to check her credit. Like check her credit.
She's me on every job interview I've ever went
Right,
on.
right.
I guess my biggest weakness is that I work too hard. Like,
Right. And I don't want to go home and I want to work for free.
yes,
Yeah.
I love working for free.
Sarah, you saying that reminds me of how like weird this process is for the Davises, that they just like go interview a woman for Nick to.
It was literally a job interview. I was like,
right.
what is going on? And the fact that like, say, like he has no say in this. Like she passed this test with them, so she gets to move on to a date with him. But like, could you imagine like Kody letting like Meri, Janelle, and Christine like weed out who any of his potentials were? He would have no other fourth wife.
Well, you know what? I have a different perspective. I think that he is immensely involved with the selection. He just puts the women's faces on his decisions, so that he'll talk to the first wife and say, "Oh, I like this one. You know, make that happen." So she goes on a date, and then there was also a point of manipulation. Where the first wife, Jen, I think her name is, she looks at Danielle and she's like, "Oh, why don't you spearhead this interview? Ask the first question." That gets Danielle into thinking that she's actually making decisions as far as this whole process is concerned. Oh, if you don't want to do it, we won't pursue it. They're doing it regardless. That's why you got browbeat the whole time. You said you weren't ready to do it. And now all of a sudden, you're not only doing it, but you're on a date with a woman who is willing to do anything to be in the family, which should be a huge red flag. And then guess what, Danielle? That's going to be your future wife. Isn't that wonderful? It's nuts. It's
Poor
the most.
Danielle.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And she's just smiling and going along with it. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll let that happen. No, Danielle, you're doing so good in the beginning. Danielle, you're dropping the ball. I'm so proud of her. Like in the beginning, I was like, "You go ahead, Danielle. Tell them that this is ridiculous. You gonna pack your stuff and you got your own place." She moved out and she came back. Yeah, I think I'll go along with it. It'd be a good idea. No, don't do that, Danielle. Danielle.
Well, Danielle is not on board with Jasmine. Like right away, I can tell.
No. I think there's a hint of jealousy. And Jasmine, because the first wife is the controller. And what I watched and when I noticed about what I've been calling her Scorpio. What's her name?
April.
April. What? No, the new one.
Oh,
The new
Jasmine.
Jasmine. If you watch her, she's paying attention, and like when you walk into a room, you try to figure out who's running stuff, and she's paying attention. And what she learned in that little meeting, that interview that they had, was that April is the one who is the head wife. She's running everything. The one that's sitting next to her is the love wife. That's the emotional wife. Danielle is the employee. So Danielle is not the one that she has to worry about. So before this is all over, if they're able to stick together long enough, Jasmine's going to be treating Danielle like trash because her opinion is unimportant. The only person she has to impress is April, and she's going to replace the one sitting next to her. I think that's going to be the move. Like she's going to be the favorite sex one.
Ooh, what a lucky position for them.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Danielle's also the youngest. There's so many dynamics that suck for her, besides her just like not wanting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Poor thing.
I don't really remember the Sherwoods for their storyline. They met up with Shane's friend, or I guess their friend together.
Yeah.
I didn't have much to say about this. Do you have anything to say about them?
No, it's still like a bummer of a storyline. And, you know, I've seen criticisms that, you know, why are they doing this when he is so sick? And I find validity in that. So
yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, if you're sick, this is not the time for you to be trying to expand your family. This
especially
is not the time.
When, like, I feel like stress has so much to do with your like physical health too. It can affect your physical health so much. So I would assume that any doctor who's trying to treat him wouldn't be like, oh yeah, go live a real high stress lifestyle.
Yeah, right. Watch the woman you're desperately in love with go hook up with other people. That's a great idea, Doc.
Prob's not advisable.
Yeah, right.
And film it all for the whole world to
Right.
see. Well, on that note, I think what was that, James?
No, I said we just like to see men cry, so it's all good.
Anyone but Garrick. James, I would watch you cry for 30 solid minutes versus 1 minute of Garrick. So that was weird. Now it seems like I want to see James cry.
No, the point was taken. Like we would rather do,
Okay.
It's
well, at least
unbelievable.
If I was crying,
actually show human emotion.
Yeah.
Right. If I was crying, to be some stuff going on. It's just not me trying to get out of trouble. So there you go.
Right. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. It's been really fun. What a Sister Wives episode. What a Seeking Sister Wife disaster of a show. We will be back here a week from today on Monday talking about the opener to season 2 of Sister Wives. So season 2. Everyone have a good night, and make sure you're subscribed to all 3 of our channels. Sarah had a video come out today. James, I know you went live last night. We all have content coming out. I'm trying to get my video completed editing wise, so that'll come out in a few days. So keep updated on all our channels.
Right.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for coming out.